Good evening and welcome to The Call, coming to you live from Channels Television Studios in Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Kadria Ahmed. Health is wealth may sound a bit cliche, but Nigeria seems to be living proof that this saying is accurate. The country is failing woefully to realize its full potential, and some experts say there's a direct correlation between Nigeria's dysfunctional health system and that failure. The country is ranked 153 out of 188 in the Human Development Index, which measures countries based on their life expectancy, education, and per capita income. When we break down some of this information, it forces us to agree with Mr. Bill Gates when he said Nigeria is one of the most dangerous places in the world to give birth. Almost 1,000 women die out of every 100,000 that give birth. The figures for infant mortality are also disturbing. 2,300 children under the age of 5 die every single day. As shocking is also the fact that 1 in 3 Nigerian children are chronically malnourished and suffer from stunted growth. In addition, our life expectancy is low. Somalia, South Sudan, and Niger all have a higher life expectancy than Nigeria. Today on The Call, we examine the front line of Nigeria's health, the national primary health care system. We begin with an overview of the service.
The primary health care system has often been described by healthcare practitioners as the bedrock of every nation's healthcare arrangement, as it ensures the wellness of all. When the primary healthcare system was established in Nigeria in 1992, it was meant to be a first point of contact for citizens in need of medical care. Its core mandate include maternal and newborn care, treatment and control of communicable diseases such as malaria, tuberculosis, measles, as well as the provision of basic health education for the citizens. 24 years after its establishment, however, those core objectives have not been met, and the need to strengthen and adequately finance the system is urgent.
What is obvious to us is that we are underfunding health in Nigeria. And what is also important is that we have to take a conscious decision and put priority on health. Nigeria invests too little, and Nigeria invests too inefficiently in the health of its own people.
Nigeria's health budget has fluctuated between a paltry 4.1 and 5.1% of the total appropriation for the country since 2011. For 2018, the numbers are even more dismal, as only 3.95% of the 8.6 trillion naira proposed budget for 2018 is earmarked for the sector. The overall effects of poor funding and the lack of efficient usage of available resources has ensured the primary healthcare system is failing in its mandate. This failure is particularly evident in the provision of maternal and newborn care, which has been the focus of the primary healthcare system in recent times. A joint survey by the World Health Organization and the World Bank in 2016 reported that 5.6 million children under 5 die globally each year. The survey notes that although neonatal death is a global problem, the challenge is huge in low-income countries. Government officials are concerned about the problem.
We've made progress on all fronts, but we recognize that it is slow. We are going to accelerate it, and that's our job. We are looking at it from multiple fronts. We are looking at mothers, and that's why we have a program on accelerated reduction of maternal mortality. When mothers survive, the babies will survive. We also look at nutrition.
President Buhari launched the Community Health Influencers, Promoters and Services Program. These are a cadre of health workers that are going to be based in the communities, right? We call them CHIPs for short. These health workers will go to communities, will knock on doors, talk to mothers, encourage mothers around the need for them to go for antenatal care, take their kids for routine immunization. If folks are sick in the household, do a test using rapid diagnostic kits.
In some rural communities in Nigeria, patronage for traditional medicine is high because the citizens have little or no access to affordable primary health care services.
Some of their challenges here is the money. They feel they will spend a lot whenever they come to the hospital, so they prefer to stay at home and go for traditional medicines.
A weak and ineffective primary health care structure spells doom for Nigeria, which operates a three-tier health system. Majority of citizens live in rural communities where there is limited access to secondary and tertiary health care services. And where they exist, costs are high, making the services unaffordable. There is therefore an urgent need for the government to strengthen the foundation of the nation's health care, which is essentially the primary health care system.